Hi, it's me, Rasheed Ogunlaru, coach, speaker and author, and welcome to the September issue of a September episode, if you're watching it, of Catch the Coach, your newsletter, your monthly video for lasting fulfillment in life, career, relationships. And this issue comes to you at the point where the seasons are about to change. And September is a really interesting month because it's synonymous with going back to school, back to studies, back to work, back to business. Maybe it is that you're starting anew, or maybe it is that you're continuing on a path that you've been on for some time. And so there can be all sorts of issues and feelings that you have about this time of the year. And so this episode is really about helping you just to be ready and to just feel resourceful and to keep the focus for the rest of the year, because we're at September. We're not that far really from December, but nonetheless there's probably a lot to do. And if you think about it, I remember this season from being at school, and it was the one in which it's the longest term, the one in which you have to in many ways be the most focused. It's where you get a lot of the work done to set you up for the year ahead. But equally, you might have had all sorts of goals, dreams and aspirations for lots of the year from the start of the year, and this end bit of the year is going to be key to you staying on track. When we combine that with not just the change that we see in seasons right now, but the changes that are going on politically, socially, and all the rest of it, we can see that this is a time in the year where being resourceful, resilient is really important, and preparing for the seasons ahead. So it's synonymous with things like the harvest, but also with reaping those things from the things that you've already planted for a long time. So it's the autumn. We're not starting afresh. For example, in spring, we've got a lot of that experience, how it is that we're able to really capitalize on all the experience that we have and trust and to believe in ourselves. There's all sorts of things that are going on at this time of the year. So first of all, back to school, back to business. Just a couple of questions. How are you feeling about it? Are you excited about it? Are you not happy about it? And what do your feelings tell you? Is it time for some kind of change? Secondly, what are the plans? What are the schedules, the practical things that you need to put in place for this time of the year? We were good at that when we were at school. We knew we need to get the pencil case, the clothes and everything else back together and get all of our materials together. What about you in your career? Are the things that you need to do, are the new skills that you need to develop over this year as the new support that you need? Thirdly, what's really working well and how is that you can build on that? You know, what's really working well for you personally and professionally? Also now identify what's not working well. And again, remember as you're watching this, feel free to pause it at any time. What's not working well and what is it that needs to be addressed? Next, I want you to identify for the rest of the year, what would you say are your 3 personal priorities and your 3 career priorities? The 3 priorities in your work, because the chances are you're not going to be able to achieve everything. So really think about what should be those priorities. And also now I want to get you to think about, are there any changes that really need to be made personally or professionally? There may well be. You might think, actually, you know, I want to think about that next role, or actually I'm really wanting to step up and shadow this person, or actually I'm ready now for that more senior role, or actually at home I now need to do this, so I need to make these changes. You know, what are the changes that you feel you need to take in order to move forward for this season? So, yeah, and what are the issues, external issues that you need to prepare for? This is really, really important. Here in the UK, we know things like the Brexit is coming along most likely. And what are the things you need to prepare for? And the tricky thing about preparation is that there's some things that we are very much aware, isn't it? We've been stopped, we're aware of it, that's going on in the workplace or in our organisation or in our team, we've been told. And sometimes there's certain things that we're not, but it also depends on how alert we are and how attuned we are. So that might require you stepping back and really taking stock. How informed of you what's going on in your organisation and your business and your sector. That does require just pausing and thinking, okay, yeah, what might be coming around the corner? Next, what skills, support and resources do you have and do you need? These are questions that I ask all the time, but there's no harm asking yourself all the rest of the time. And then what are the actions that you're actually going to take, and prepare yourself a plan for it. So you might think, actually, at home these are the priorities, at work these are the priorities, and here's my plan just for the rest of the year. Keep it short, simple, 1 page. Okay, my tip for the month, part 1, I'm sharing 2 tips this month. New outlook, new approach. Very often when it comes to life, excuse me, what happens is that we get up each day and we carry on, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, this isn't working, that isn't working. How can we perhaps go about this month, this season, with a new outlook? So perhaps instead of when somebody says something, you think about all the reasons why not, perhaps step back and see what might be valid in that particular suggestion. Instead of looking at things critically, why don't you look at things curiously? It's said in many people, you'll hear it a lot in personal development, that curiosity, and in business, curiosity, being actually curious about other people, being curious about things, being keen to learn. And I think that that's one of the things that is very synonymous with this season, isn't it? Particularly when we think of it in terms of our studies, being curious, being keen. Just like when at your school, you were keen to know why. You're curious about why that happened and why things were done that way. Bring in that curiosity. Also, another tip here, listen to people through to the end of their sentence before jumping in. New look, new approach. And perhaps being open to new experience. Somebody suggested this, could it work? Just be curious. Just perhaps adopt that spirit of adventure. As I said, I wanted to also share a second tip for this month. And the second one is all about readiness, resourcefulness and kindness. We know there could be all sorts of changes and challenges ahead. My friend here is very aware of it throughout their career and beyond. So there's 3 tips here within this tip of the month. 1, readiness, being still, being really centered, being really able to anticipate, being ready and, putting that planning that we've touched on before. Secondly, resourcefulness. Synonymous again with the season, isn't it, as we harvest. But resourcefulness, really building your team, really building the contacts, really building the connections, really being aware of what your skills and your talents are and what needs to be built on. Really build that up. It's again that ties in with that preparedness and feeling resourceful. That's also actually about mindset. Looking at things proactively, looking at what you can do rather than what you can't, really having that open-mindedness. And finally, kindness. Chances are that life is going to be so much richer the more kind and warmly we show up. So kindness from your heart, caring about other people is really, really important. So those are our 2 tips for the month. And we are pretty much there. I just want to share a couple of other things, a couple of pieces of news. Thank you so much for everyone who attended the Soul Trader retreat in August last month. It was fantastic. Thank you so much. I wish you all on your ongoing journey with the wonderful work that you're doing, the businesses are running, from my heart. I think that's incredible. Just a quick update. Anyone visiting my website, they're currently down. We've currently got a technical glitch. We're going to be looking at them and then just doing some work on the website over the next couple of weeks. So I hope by the end of the month, the websites will be back working as normally, but you can reach me via social media. You can reach me via, Twitter. You can reach me by email. You can reach me by phone. You can reach me by, you can follow me on all the social media, Instagram, my YouTube, etc. So, and my official Facebook page. So feel free to message me there or get in touch in the usual way. And then we'll put the websites back up hopefully by the end of the month. And I just want to really wish you all the best for the month. Next issue, I'm going to be picking up on this issue of change and transition. And if you are curious about that, and you can't wait, then you might want to check out my Soul Trader podcast. So again, if you go to iTunes, you can subscribe for free. And you'll see one of my most recent podcasts was called Change and Transitions Part 1. Changes Part 1. And I'm going to be recording Changes Part 2 over the next coming months. And I'm going to be picking up on this aspect of change. So I really want to wish you the best for the month and really to take stock, perhaps set a couple of goals for the rest of the year and really to think, okay, how is it I need to be for the rest of the seasons ahead? Because autumn is not just about, okay, what's going on now, but it is about being prepared and resourceful so that you're harvesting and you're preparing and you're putting things in place for the winter and for the right up to the spring ahead. So in your own career, you might be thinking, actually, well, what's going on the next phases in my life, in my career, so we can really be ready for that. So I just want to wish you all the best. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate you watching and reading, and I really want to wish you all the best for this season. Take good care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.